Hello, hello. Welcome to the Dough Show. I'm Joyce Day, your host, and I'm here today with the lovely and fabulous Jennifer Yates. Say hello, Jennifer.
Hi, guys.
Jennifer is jumping on with me, the huge, awesome. I'm like so happy that she decided to do this because I know everything's crazy right now. So we are jumping on here to talk about her doTERRA superpower. You guys excited? Do you want to know what it is? What is Jennifer Yates' superpower in doTERRA? Jen, why don't you reveal it to us by telling us a little bit more about your doTERRA story, how you got started, and how did you get to Diamond?
So thanks for asking me to come on and interview with you. And I'm really excited to share because I think it's the way I build my business is it's a little off the norm for our company, but I think it's up and coming. So I love to share about how I do it. So I started in June of 2017. I actually was introduced to doTERRA at a very hard time in my life. Actually, I'm in recovery, and I was fighting that daily. So when doTERRA had come into my life, it was life-changing, basically, for me. And so I've never looked back. And I was like, when I started this business, I said, the way that doTERRA has changed my life, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops, how this can change other people's lives. So I really love helping others in any aspect, but particularly close to my heart is people struggling with recovery. And those sort of, any depression and anxiety, that's sort of near and dear to my heart. So I love having to be able to share with others. And so it's become a passion, to say the least. I would say more like obsession. But so I have built my business exclusively through social media, Facebook being the platform that I use. I have never held a class in person. I have done everything through Facebook. So social media is an amazing it's an amazing tool for our business. First of all, it's free. And I don't do the spammy selling on Facebook. That's not the way that I share my passion. I go on Facebook and I post authentically my life. I share my life with other people because people want to come to social media to be uplifted. They want to be entertained. They want to laugh. They want to feel positivity. So that's my style of sharing on social media. And so I built my business to Diamond in 13 months exclusively through Facebook.
Wow, that is so amazing. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, that's great. I know I can hear the resounding from some of the other people who've been doing this for a while now and are still trudging away that road of, I shouldn't say trudging, but sometimes it feels like it when you've been working at it for a while, and it typically comes slower for most of us guys. So for those of you that are out there listening, there's a reason we're talking about superpowers, because this is Jen's superpower, and it's a skill that I think we all can improve on. But it does, it's definitely not my superpower. It's not most people's superpower. And so that's why Jen is such an exception, and she's such an amazing story. And we have so much to learn from her, which is the purpose of the Dough Show in general. So if you're sitting here listening to this and you've been at Premiere for 2 years and you're like, what the heck? How did she do that? Don't worry, you're not alone. And this is how it is. This is the stories. This is why we have the show, is to learn from each other. So, Jen, I think the big question when someone hears that you built to Diamond in 13 months with doTERRA exclusively on Facebook, the question that immediately comes to mind, or the sort of comments that I think I hear in my builders' minds, is she must spend her whole freaking day on social media. Like, she must just have her nose buried in her phone 24/7. So let's hear the nitty gritty and the details. What did it look like? I know it's evolved because I know your story, but tell us what it was like in the beginning. How do you manage it? How do you do that?
So It is. It's work, right? So it's not. In the beginning when I first started, I actually didn't even care for Facebook, and that was like that eye-opening moment because I realized I was looking at it all the wrong way. I was looking at it as, instead of the positive way, I was looking at it in a negative way. And so as soon as I shifted my mindset that way, that this is a great place to meet amazing people. So for me, I look at it as I scroll with intent. I post with purpose. I'm always seeking my next business partner. I'm always seeking the next member to join my team. I'm always seeking for those people that, your vibe attracts your tribe. That's exactly what I love to put out. So, when I'm on Facebook and when I first started, yes, it was not, I am on my phone. But to be honest with you, I built this business in like 15-minute increments, because the beauty of social media is you can take it with you anywhere. So when I do my lives on social media, it's basically like hosting a class, except you can reach hundreds, if not thousands, in one day. And that's a pretty tall feat to do when you're doing it in person. I love to teach my team too that this isn't the only way. This is an additional way. So for my team, I say, why not have both? That you have the best of both worlds. Why not, set a schedule for yourself. If you find that you can't be on social media, a majority of the time, set a realistic goal. Set a goal that you step outside your comfort zone, but set a realistic goal for yourself for Facebook. I can probably honestly say if we are all in the group here, it's a Facebook group. So we're all on Facebook, right? So when you're coming to Facebook, use that with intention. Before I got into doTERRA, it would be mindless scrolling. We all do it, mindless scrolling of what's everyone doing on Facebook, because that's honestly what Facebook's all about. What's everyone doing, right? So you take that and you use that, and instead of doing the mindless scrolling and instead of just browsing through, you go with intention. So set yourself a goal. If it's an hour a day you can commit to working social media platform, then set that goal. In that hour, make a post that's going to catch someone's eye. Go live. Or look for your next business partner, because when you do that and you stay consistent in doing this, it will work for you. Consistency is key. You can't, but like this saying I always say is, you can't post and pray. Like, I don't just post things and people flock to me. I work the behind the scenes. I'm probably 80% in my messenger. Most of the day, I probably message somewhere between, 200 and 300 people a day. And these messages, guys, are short and sweet. They're not long, drawn out. So Facebook, I like to explain it this way, right? So Facebook is like speed dating. Okay, so, when you meet someone in person, you develop that relationship. You meet someone in person, you shake hands, you say, let's get coffee, you make a date, you go to coffee, you talk about the business, you kind of get to know each other a little more, let's go out again. Facebook's fast and quick. So Facebook is someone, you post something, it catches someone's eye, and they're messaging you and they're saying, tell me more about it. It's like speed dating rather than, being in person. So it's very quick. So when I say I'm messaging, somewhere between 200 and 300 people a day, it's fast and quick messages. I also developed a community for my members and for my prospects. This is a community that I'm very, very proud of, because in the past year and a half, I've grown my group from the very beginning of no members to now we're over 3,500, and this is prospects, members, and team. But this is where I educate them. This is where I educate them more in depth about the oils. I make it a safe environment for them. And it's my group. So my group, I have to run that group. I'm in there every day, making sure I'm answering all the questions, making sure that everyone knows how to get on LRP, how to place their first order. But I'm able to do that by the masses. And so that has been really effective for me.
Mm-hmm. So, I think the difference when I think about you and what you do, because I've watched a lot of your stuff and followed you for a while now, and I think about people that are dabbling in this, and maybe they're following you, maybe there's now all kinds of courses out there on how to build on Instagram and how to build on Facebook and how to do social media and blah blah blah. I think the difference is that you just like you can see your enthusiasm and your light and your your excitement, and you don't really care. I think there's all these rules out there. So when I see other people, sometimes on my team, sometimes on other teams that are trying to go down this road, but it's like looking at a house where the shutters are closed. You can see that the lights are on in there. You can see that there's stuff going on. The house might even be really cute, but there's the light is missing, the hominess, the fun. And so I think that's something that, I'm just sitting here taking in what you're saying and kind of reflecting on that and what I see other people doing. And I guess I'd want to hear your thoughts on that too. So, I mean, it really is about, you've got to do it in a way that you feel super comfortable and authentic, and that you're just letting your light shine. And I think this is something I want to work with my builders on this year, is, coming back to, are we having fun? Because I've gone through a few years, I call it doTERRA depression, when you're just like, your spirit is dampened because it doesn't feel fun. It feels heavy and burdensome, and you're trying to get to places and work hard and all these kind of things, and we're missing out. And so I think what you're so good at is that you're letting your light shine. This is just naturally the way you are, and you're just getting on there and going for it. You don't worry about what the rules are. You're not worried about, I can't tell you how many people have told me I'm not, like, my videos are too long. I'm like, it's a 7-minute freaking video. Like, how long?
I sometimes go for an hour, so if that's long, I'm in trouble.
I'm like, all I can do is like, what am I supposed to get on there and wave? Like,
yeah,
video? Like, I need some time to like talk and get out there and let people get to know me a little bit. So that's one of the things I like about watching you, is that you don't seem to, it's not like, even though you're talking about the messenger is the speed dating, the video part of it isn't necessarily, and it's really about just letting go and having fun and just going with it. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I love talking about this because, so many of us have this fear, right? We have this fear of, oh my gosh, what are other people going to think? Or, oh my gosh, what is this person? My favorite way to describe it is, I always, when I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, what are these people from high school going to say when I'm on here doing live about something that I love? And then it clicked with me. Who cares? Like, if your network is supposed to be filled with people who are going to support you and love you. And, whether they never buy a product from you or they just always watch your videos and show hearts and loves and comments, those are your people too. They don't always have to buy from you. Your network is people who want to see you succeed and shine on. Like, they want to see you change this world. And like, the best piece of advice I had ever heard was, we just need to get over ourselves, because this is so much bigger than me and you. And it's just so much bigger. It's about changing the world. Like, it's about the messages that I get now are I literally drop a tear with the messages that I get that, thanking me for inspiring. Because there's days when you go, man, did that message really make sense? Did that message really, did I help someone today? And then you get the message, and that's what makes it all worth it. So like, it's that fear of getting over ourselves, because a lot of times we have these thoughts in our heads and no one's ever even said anything to us, but it's the fear that's stopping us. And, on the other side of fear is your greatness. And so the more that you can step through that, because you're going to encounter things, the bigger you grow, you're more you're going to encounter. But you have to remember, the message is about helping others. Your lives, people are going to want to connect with you. The more that you show your authenticity, the more that you show your passion. I get on there and sometimes I screw up and say things that I'm like, and or people ask questions and I have to say, well, I'll have to get back to you. I'm just me on my lives, and that's what draws people into you. Like, your vibe really does attract your tribe. And so when people, the fear is real though. I want to validate that for people, because pushing that live button is scary for anybody in the beginning, but once you realize the message you're sending and the message that people are receiving, it's something undescribable. I am grateful every morning that I open my eyes, because I was in such a dark space before, and so now I'm like, I need to share this. There's someone's life that I could change today. So, when you when you push aside that it's not about me, it's not about me, it's so much bigger, you know, and then it becomes less and less scary. And for those that are kind of dabbling in it, and you know, they're worried about, like you said, maybe, I guess you call them the rules, but there are no rules. You know, if you're not offending anyone, if you're not being disrespectful, if you're just sharing something, your passion, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's something that that should be done. We need more of that in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We need that.
I was sitting with some gals at a networking group just, gosh, yesterday. Oh my gosh, that was yesterday. And we were talking about this whole like influencing people and putting yourself out there and social media and lives and all the stuff. And one of them commented that, you know, it's kind of funny because you can go on YouTube, you can go on lots of different, any video social media, and you're going to find people that they're not even selling anything. They're not selling anything directly. They're literally on there talking about what they're wearing today, or I think I'm going to get a haircut, or what do you think about this color of lipstick, or, you know, whatever, telling funny stories about their kids. I mean, you name it. There is a YouTube channel out there dedicated to just about anything at all. And those people, they don't care, and they do have followings. That's the craziest part about it.
Do you see all the kids that are making slime on YouTube? Okay, those people have millions of followers. My daughter watches it, and I'm like, so if we put that in that perspective, okay, you know, it's no different. Going live is no different than having a conversation with a group of your girlfriends or guy friends or whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's no different. It's like, you know, it's just you talking about something you love, you know, but you reach so many. You can reach so many in such a short amount of time. I mean, that's what I love about it. I feel like it's hosting a class for hundreds at a time, and I can reach all different ends of the world. I mean, you know, I'm just now starting to kind of expand out of the US and have Canada and UK, and it's like, you know, I couldn't do that in the next 10 years if I wanted to, you know. So it's for me personally, it's probably the only way I'll continue to go. And the world is changing to technology. The world is changing to social media. There's 7 million people just on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people we can help.
There's a lot of people. And like you said, there's no barriers. If you live in a small town, if you can't get out, if you don't have a car, if you don't have money to teach classes, if you, whatever your limitations are, if you can find a way to make this work for you, and we all got to do that, we've all got to find a way to make it work for us, then this is a really powerful avenue. I mean, the number one thing that builders worry about, and new builders especially, but all of us, is finding new people to talk to. We all need that. That is like the bread and butter of our whole lives, is finding new people to talk to and share oils with. And if we are struggling with that, then I think this is a great way to kind of talk about. So a thought just occurred to me is maybe what would help people that are wanting to explore this, but again, thinking about even people on my team or the people that I see kind of tentatively doing this, maybe instead of, I think the concern that people have is that they're going to be coming across as selling stuff, that we're just on here talking about all these little bottles of oil because we were just trying to sell stuff. But I think what you do, and again, I'm just trying to, I'm a analyzer, so I'm back here analyzing, and I'm thinking, you know, I think maybe what a place to start with is starting with your why. You know, there's the Simon Sinek book on Start With Why. What is your why for doing this? Why are you sharing oils? And maybe always putting that at the forefront before you hit that live button. You are here to be of service. I'm doing this because I want to reach out and connect and share about oils with people. And that's why I'm doing this. It's not because I'm trying to sell you a $24.50 bottle of oil that you can make your house smell pretty. It's because I believe in this stuff. So maybe it might help those of you listening that want to explore this, is do some writing, do some journaling, and think about, why am I doing this? Why do I share oils in general? And for me, I know it's because I believe that, you know, getting away from chemicals is one of the biggest things we can do to protect our health, hands down. My background is hydrogeology, right? It's contamination, it's the environment, all this. And one of the areas that I'm moving into is really teaching people that going green is not about saving the planet, it's about protecting your own health at home. And so that's my why. So I'm as terrified as anybody else, even though I love video and I love going live. But now that I'm going out in January, I'm launching more into my own personal message, really putting myself out there. I'm as scared as anybody else is to really go for it. And so one of the things that's helped me this fall is writing and kind of journaling and uncovering my story and why I believe so deeply in what I'm talking about, what I want to move towards. And that all is giving me the courage and the power and the belief that what I'm doing is bigger than just selling oils or sharing oils or even talking about natural stuff in general. It's bigger than that. So you have that bigger message, you have that bigger why, which is what puts you out there. And then that coupled with your willingness to just be yourself, obviously that all ties together to make this your superpower. So I think that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's you do have, your why has to be, you know, I like, it's kind of like that little rhyme, your why is going to make you cry. And it's not in a bad way, but your why is like what makes me jump out of bed in the morning. My why is like, you know, who can I help? Like my story alone is my why, my story, because I want no one to ever, I'd love to help anyone that would not have to go through what I've experienced, you know? And so like, that's my why, and it makes me jump out of bed. It makes me want to get on there and share. And I think everyone needs doTERRA in their home. So that's my mission, you know, that is my goal, is to help 1 million, you know, that's my goal. And so for me, it's social media, again, it's the way I like to do it exclusively, but this can be coupled with face-to-face. This can be coupled with now you're traveling and you're meeting these people through classes. Now you have this social media platform to connect with them later on. And it's just an amazing tool for your business. And I also like going back to, you know, how do I not feel spammy? If you feel spammy, you're going to come off spammy. If you went to a restaurant and you loved it, you would be all over Facebook going, oh my God, this place, I'm raving about this place, you need to go. Like, why do we have that fear about a product that we're passionate about? You know, so it's the same thing. And, you know, we are constantly sharing on social media. We just happen to be sharing something that we can create a life for our family with, you know, and income. And so sending that message as well is, you know, there's an opportunity here to build a life by design. And so, you know, you get the best of both worlds. So, you know, I don't sit and spam all day long on Facebook, links and product posts and links. I don't do that. I share my life. I share my life and have those conversations in Messenger, like a one-on-one, you know, when you're in Messenger, it's a one-on-one with someone. And so that's, you know, that's how I build through social media. So I share my life. I'm very authentic. If you meet me in person, it's exactly what you're going to see on Facebook. So I stick true to that.
That's really cool. So let's talk a little bit. I want to give our listeners some some hands-on, like practical ideas for kind of dabbling with this to even see if it's something that they want to explore. So if they were just like starting to play with this whole idea and they're not big social media, I know a lot of people don't go live. I mean, a lot of people like never go live. We're kind of the exception. I go live pretty often. I know you do too. I love live. But I found out most people actually are terrified of this and they don't know if they want to do it. And so, how, you know, what tips would you offer for let's talk about that. And I'll throw in some of my 2 cents too, but what do we tell people who are like, I don't know if I can go live. I'm literally, how do I get to the point where I can actually go live? What do I say on my first videos? You know, what do I do?
So if you think about, if we take it back a few steps, right? And we think about actually what we're doing, we're putting our phone in front of us and we're pushing a button. There's no one there. You can just, I tell a lot of people, you know, because they get worried about the numbers of viewers or no viewers or whatever, you know, put a sticky over that. So you don't see who's jumping on. And then you can swipe comments. You know, if you're just doing this for the first time, you can swipe comments. If you swipe right, the comments disappear. And you can say that. You can say, I just swipe the comments because I just have something I want to share today. And you got, the thing that's most important is share your scare. People will relate. People don't want to relate to perfection because perfection is scary. Perfection is intimidating. So when you say, this is my first live and I'm just going to share what I love. And this, when you share your scare, people relate to that. So here's the thing, right? When you're sharing, and people, you're real and you're authentic and you're sharing that you're nervous, this is your first time, and then people start to watch you more and more. And then they say, well, geez, if she can do this business, I can do this business. Look at that. She's not a mad scientist and knows all the things. And she's not like, she doesn't know every detail about every oil and all the health issues. Like she goes to a book. She looks at a book or she looks on the website or, she's literally reading word for word what doTERRA just posted. Like that's relatable. People see that and they go, wow, she can do that. I can do this too, and that makes us more relatable to people. Because perfection is scary. You just have to push the button. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to push the button.
Yeah. And remind people of, I think for me, when I think about that feeling of nervousness, my urge is to just say, I just love these oils. I love them. They are so awesome. And so I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep hopping here and telling you about them because they're amazing. And then just tell them something. And it doesn't have to be every little detail in the book. It doesn't have to be, it's just something fun. In fact, I find I am a sciencey kind of minded person. So my big problem is that I do want to dump too much information on people. And I'm like getting way into the nitty gritty. When I first started, my classes used to be like, one of my girlfriends, I went out west and taught a class out there, and she's somebody I respect and, love, and she's a longtime friend. And I was like, okay, what did you think? And she's like, well, I think the class was amazing. I learned a ton, but she's like, I wouldn't even have guessed that you were actually selling oils because all you did was like teach all this crazy information. And then at the end, you're like, and if you want some oils, let me know, kind of. That's really crazy. She's like, I would have thought I would have probably, if I wasn't paying attention, I probably would have left and gone and bought them at the health food store or something. And I was like, wow. So my battle is always to simplify and just share something fun. People love little DIY stuff. They love recipes. But I think that's the other thing is just try to have fun with it. Smile. Some other fun tips, and you can share some of your practicals. I'm going to share some of mine. This saved my life. So when I first started doing Facebook Lives, the lighting is really important. You need bright lights shining right on your face. So
a window is always a great spot.
Great place to start. So my kitchen window is like the best spot in the house. I get actual sunlight there. We don't get sunlight anywhere else. So I used to make this like leaning tower of Pisa using kitchen stuff. I dump out my wooden spoon container and I would lean it on the windowsill and put a rock on the back side of it to weight it so that it wouldn't fall forward. And then I prop my phone up and put another rock in front of the phone to keep it standing. It's like if the wind blew somewhere in China, like this thing was going to fall over. And I'd had it happen, I'd had it fall and things like that. So one of the things that made a huge difference for me was just getting like a little tool, like something like this. This is a little like tripod that you can put your phone in, and it actually, all this stuff bends. I've wrapped it around poles and, you can stand it up. And so that was a big shift. I went months making videos in my kitchen with that piled up of boxes. Sometimes I use boxes or books and all kinds of stuff. And then I actually went and bought a few things. So I got this. What kind of supplies do you use for your lives?
So when I first started, it was the same thing. I was propping my phone in my kitchen window, and I'd be doing DIYs like this so I can see myself on the camera. And, lighting makes a big difference, you guys. You want to make it bright. You want to make it so they can see you. It's a bright a bright, great light for you. If you can, go on Amazon. You can get yourself a little, they call them ring lights, diva light, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can get as big as what I have now, or they have even some that are this size. They're like 16, 17 bucks from Amazon. They make a world of difference. And like you said, they're a way to prop your phone, hold your phone up and all that stuff. I have built my business in my kitchen. This is my kitchen. And, you know, I have my family. This is the other thing too. They're always like, well, I always have the kids and my family and dogs and whatever is going on in the background. This is my home is like 1,000 square feet, 1,100 square feet. I've built my business in my kitchen. My family come in here and eat while I'm doing my lives. They come in and make dinner and they jump on. Involve your family if you can. Involve them, because people love to see that you are doing this with your family, because our families are an important part of our business, right? They're our support system. And the more you can involve them, you know, the more you're showing, again, you're sharing your journey. I'm sharing my journey in my business, and people love to be a part of it. And I love to have them a part of it.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I've really learned to embrace that too, because, you know, if you try to do a live and in a perfect way, that your dog doesn't start barking, or the mailman rings the doorbell, or a truck, big loud motorcycle blows past your house with the windows open, like, you will never get a good, you just got to let that stuff happen and laugh about it. I've had my kids come up, you know, just like you said, come up and come through, and all kinds of things. The phone falls in the middle of the thing, and you just have to laugh it off. I remember one of the first videos I did, somebody called me in the middle of the video. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I'm like, no. And now I'm like, stop it. Just keep going. Nobody even knows on the recordings, right? I mean, it's just a split second of decline and it's over. So no panic when crazy stuff happens. I do want to plug this other thing I got. This is actually, now I've graduated. So I had the little tripod. This one actually stands up almost to the same height as me. It stands up to like 4 feet tall. So I can set this on the ground. I can put it on like a bookshelf. I can angle everything about it, angles. So I can do my DIYs and angle the phone like downward so people can see. So if you get into this and you love it, guys, then there's so many tools out there to make it easier for us. You know, you don't have to, you know, just so you know, you know, if you're worried about it, if you tried a few lives and you've run into some problems, just know there's tools out there that make it easier for us as well. Okay.
So one more thing I wanted to add, because this is like just a thought that crossed, was that this, you know, when you're doing your lives, guys, I look back at my lives from a year ago and I laugh. I'm like, look at me. It's like, it's not a joke, but it's funny because you can see and hear, you can hear it in my breath. I sound out of breath because I'm nervous, right? And so you can see the development throughout the year. And, you know, it's a skill, guys. It's a skill that we develop. We get more and more comfortable in front of the camera, I guess you can say, and you develop a way of teaching. You find your niche, and it's like it's a skill that we learn, but we are never going to develop it unless we start. So it's as scary as it is. Just push that button. Just push it. Just do it.
And keep doing it, because that's the last thing, the last little piece. Because, you know, if you've made the commitment that you believe in this and you're going to put yourself out there and you're letting your light shine and you're having fun and being silly and not worrying about being perfect, then just keep doing it. Because the other thing that I see happening is some of the people are doing a great job. They've got a fabulous live, but they're comparing where they are to you or to people like you. Like, why did I only get, you know, you're saying don't look at those views while you're on live. Don't look at them later either, because, you know, the consistency is there. People are watching. They are seeing what you're doing. You may have to do it for a while before you start to pick up that momentum, or to find out what do people like the most. Maybe you do fabulous DIY videos and people just freaking love them. But when you just get on there and talk about, you know, oils for whatever, they don't love those ones. So you kind of live your way into what do people really love? What are they watching? What do they like about what you're doing? But don't give up, because I do see that where people are doing it for a few weeks even, and they feel like, nobody's watching, or so-and-so had, you know, I've seen your videos where you'll have like 35 people watching you live, which for most people is like, holy crap, that's crazy. So patience is really important, right? Can you speak a little bit to that? Because I know in the beginning, I mean, you started as a beginner with 3
Yep.
people watched, right? Like, tell us
Yes.
the early days.
So when you first start, we all have to start somewhere, right? We all start, and you can't expect to come out the gate and have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views. That's something that you build over time, and it's building a network. So my biggest piece of advice to that is, even if you have one viewer, be grateful for that one viewer. That one viewer can be your next rock star. That one viewer can turn into your biggest builder. So what I say is, don't look at those like I've only had 2 or I only had 3 people watching, because those 3 people have the gratitude that those 3 people are taking the time in their day to watch you, to support your journey. And so as you move on and throughout the building process, those views grow. Those views, and it's so, comparison is the thief of all your joy. I have fun doing what I'm doing. I don't worry about who's watched, how many views, who's on there watching with me. And, I just enjoy who is with me at the time. I enjoy, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the viewers that are taking their time out of their day to come spend with me. So when you look at it in that point of view, in that aspect, it's way more gratifying. So I don't compare. I can't compare myself to anyone else, because this is my journey. My journey is not like anybody else's, just as yours is different, and love it. Love your journey. Love the way that you're going in your business. But for sure, consistency. If you start, people expect to see you. So when you start to build on Facebook, that's why I say, set a realistic goal. If it's an hour a day, people are going to expect to see you. When you start showing up, it's just like a job. When you start showing up and then you don't, people are wondering what the heck happened. And that's not good for building your business, because then you become like you're not taking it seriously. So if you just are posting here and there, and then you fall off for a while and you come back, they're going to look at the next person who's serious about doing this on Facebook, because they're constantly and consistently showing up, and you're not. So who's more serious about their business? That's my biggest piece of advice. You don't have to do it. I build this. I'm on Facebook a lot. But it's a lot of work in the beginning to be able to have that lifestyle later on down the road, where I can work a normal schedule. But I also build this business in 15-minute increments. I'm on it for 15, and then I do whatever I need to do in my home, 15, 30 minutes. I get back on for 15. I do this when the kids go to bed. I do this before my family gets up in the morning. I do it during the day when everyone's at work and school. So you fit it in where you can fit it in, but make a realistic goal, and make it a little bit outside your comfort zone. Make it something, you're working towards, but consistent and constant for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jen, this has been super, super helpful. I want to make sure, so this is being offered on YouTube. You can come to the Doe Show YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on iTunes on the podcast app. Just search for the Doe Show. But if you have questions for Jen, you're welcome to post comments on YouTube. You can also reach out to me at the Doe Show feedback@gmail.com. Or, Jen, is there a way that they can get in touch with you, follow you, reach out to you, that sort of thing, if they have questions?
Yes, absolutely. So I just love to say, you can click the follow button on Facebook. My profile is public, so anything that my friends see, you see. So click the follow button, and you can reach out in Messenger and shoot me a message. We do a training that we offer. We do it monthly. It's actually a 45-day training that I've built with my sister-in-law to kind of teach how to do this build on social media. And it's primarily Facebook, but this can be applied across all platforms, Instagram, which is something that I've been newly pushing myself out to. And that's fun, because that's a different social media platform. So you can message me, and I can share where you can find that information. Or maybe I can give you the link, Joyce, too, and can post that if you want.
We'll put it in the show notes, and we can also post it in the description for YouTube as well. So that would be great. So you can look for Jen and link up with her, follow her. I mean, you can learn a lot. I really do believe I I follow a lot of different diamonds, and I've learned a lot from them, and I've never met them or talked to them. So you can learn a lot
Yeah.
from each other just by seeing what each other's doing, looking at it and figuring out what, what part of this can I take and use for myself? What would be helpful for me in my business? So Jen, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here during this crazy busy time of year and sharing your superpower with us. Maybe we could do a part 2 at some point and get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty of things, and see, maybe we'll get some questions that will feed into a part 2 of this, because I know it's a topic that's of huge interest to a lot of people. So
Sure, I'd love to. I appreciate you having me on here. Thank you.
awesome. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time on the Dough Show. Have a good one. Bye-bye.